Welcome to Subramani. Please hit the bell icon. Please subscribe. This is going to be a little sad kind of a video. There are two things which we have done, and I'm not just talking about as Hindus or Indians or anything. Across the world, the educated people, especially, are guilty of one thing: having lesser number of children. And another thing we are guilty of, especially as Indians, is breaking of the joint family. These are two mistakes for which we are going to pay very heavily, in the sense that certain things like old age care or long term care towards the end of a person's life is extremely difficult if you are a nuclear family. It means just husband and wife, no children. And if the husband is 80, the wife is also 77, 78, if not maybe 75, but definitely in some cases even 81, right? So in such cases, it's going to be very difficult providing end of life care. And one thing I can tell you, mostly end of life care is lousy. It's very difficult to get good competent people, and I'm not even talking of a reasonable price. I'm talking of good prices. We just don't have enough competence there. It's very difficult to believe that everybody wants to do MBA, nobody wants to be a carpenter or a nurse. Nursing is going to be extremely lucrative. So if you're not academically very great, if your children are not academically not very great, or if your housemaid drive and all those people have children who are not academically very good, I've seen no reason why they should pay so much money and try to become engineers or MBAs when this could be a great thing. But of course, you have to have a calling, because not everybody wants to do this work. But end of life care is lousy. You don't get good help. Whatever you do, it requires supervision, right? And so you have to decide where to age. Let's start there. You have to decide where to age. Do you want to stay in your own house and age? Then you have to see how to get the care into your house, or you want to live in a senior citizen care, geriatric care, where somebody else will take care of you, where perhaps the people who are meant to serve you are supervised better, because you cannot supervise one person giving care to your parent. It's not possible. Also, one more thing I've noticed, that in India, we don't have boundaries. So it is expected, the parents expect the children to take care of them, and the children think it is their duty and they have to handle it. Many such cases, many people do, many people don't. I can't even imagine a son or a daughter saying, "We are too busy, we can't look after you." They will not say it, but they mean it. And if they are in a different city, then very difficult for them. So anything which you offer, if you offer 1 hour of care per week, or you offer 10 hours of care per week, or you're saying, okay, dad, mom, I will move into a house near you and look after you 24 by 7, or I will move into a bigger 4 BHK or a 5 BHK and accommodate the two of you in my house. Whatever they do is you should look at it as a gift, because everybody has their own lives. So end of life has some of these issues. When my father for my father I lost my father in 2018. Obviously, it was pre-COVID. During COVID, it would have been very difficult to look after a person with dementia. But he did not suffer too much from dementia. It was 2 years, and he was bedridden maybe for 30 days. And in 30 days, I may be exaggerating. So he could do a lot of his own activities. He could go take a bath and things like that, but he was largely bedridden for the last 30 days. So we got very good quality care, but they had to be supervised. My sister was there. She was staying very close, maybe 4-5 kilometers away from my parents' house. So she was available much more than what I was available. So I was 150 kilometers away, but my sister was 5 kilometers away. So she was meeting them twice a week. Even now, my mother is there, and she tries to meet her at least once or twice a week. She talks to her every day. I'm guilty of not being as good a son as a daughter. But anyway, jokes apart, it's very difficult to find good quality care, and getting the older person to be convinced that they need care, and then you drawing a line and saying, look, I'm going to be available only for you for 10 hours a week, or I would do some grocery shopping, I would do some bill payments online, I'll file your tax returns, I'll calculate all those, some of those things you can do, but you may not be able to give them on a day-to-day care. You may not be able to give that care, right? So check out all that, check out what kind of help you can give, how much you're willing to give, how much you must give. So breaking the joint family has not been a very great idea. So it's possible that some of the mail is accumulating in your parents house and it's not being checked, so make sure that all the bills are paid on time. If there are credit cards, just throw them away, they may not be using it, or use your credit card wherever they need things, so that bills don't keep accumulating. I've seen all these cases, and these are all cases from real life examples that I'm giving. So sometimes when the 80-year-old is looking after the 84-year-old, it is possible that the 80-year-old has missed some medicines. So buying medical boxes where saying, okay, today's quota, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, keeping the medicine separate, all that has to be done by someone, and that has to be you, the person, the 80-year-old providing care cannot do all this, right? One thing very certain is simplicity makes it easier. So either I manage my mother's money, or I keep it in a bank fixed deposit or a savings bank account and say, whenever you need money, it will be here. So if I leave 10 lakhs in a savings bank account and she needs say 20,000 rupees per month, next 5 years money is lying in the savings bank account, does not matter what is inflation, nothing matters, right? So she's got enough money lying just there, and if I just tell her, don't worry, whenever you need money, I'm there, that something like that is necessary, assuming that the portfolio is short, right? If the portfolio is worth 10 crores, then there is nothing for you to do. But yes, custodians, financial institutions, etc., don't make it very easy for you to handle unless you are a joint holder, because being a nominee does not help at all, because you as a nominee, you come in only after the death of the parent, right? So it is of no use. If you are a second holder, either or survivor, and make sure that you have access to your father's or mother's phone and password, etc. You can do some lost password kind of thing, and retrieve and recover. So if it is simple, like if I can walk in and say, okay, here is my father's death certificate, he's got one fixed deposit and one mutual fund, it is much easier than dealing through multiple fixed deposits. Right now my neighbor is going through that, multiple fixed deposits, multiple mutual funds, multiple locations of fixed deposits, right? So life is not going to be very easy. So simplicity makes life easier. So as you age, keep simplifying your portfolio. I've done many videos on this, so please go and have that. So again today, because we are living in a nuclear family, and we think that looking after our parents is volunteering, the earlier generation didn't think so. They did not have enough money also. They did not have choices of saying, my parents are in a senior citizen home. They did not have the choice. So in the place that they had, which was a one-room kitchen, they would have their own children sitting and studying in one corner, one old person ailing, lying in a corner, waiting for attention, maybe waiting for the diaper to be changed or whatever. All this was happening. People did not think it is a great thing, but today people do think it's a great thing. And going forward, younger children today will perhaps be even less tolerant. So you and me may not have a choice, but to go to a place, and go to a place early, so that you build relationships with those people who are going to provide you with end of life care. So boundaries are important. So you can always say, I will provide so much service, but you also have to understand that the other person has a life, has a career, etc. I have known my neighbor in my earlier house who spent 15 years looking after his father and mother, right? Cumulative time was 15 years. He gave up his career halfway, 52 or 53. When your earnings are at your peak, he had to give that up. He had to sell his shares perhaps at the worst possible time in 2008, right? Because he needed money. So all these things can happen. So be very careful. Uh, having power of attorney and all those things are pretty useless in India. It may or may not work. So I don't even know whether it will really work. But if you are a second holder, either or survivor, you can sign checks. You can make sure that you have access to that amount of money, which should be useful for your own parent, right? So all these power of attorneys may be pretty useless because we have no clue how it is going to work. I'm convinced that all the money that you pay accountants, attorneys, etc. is worth it, provided the documentation is in good shape. And we can't be an expert on everything, right? I can't be an expert on mutual fund, life insurance, taxation, accounting, right? I can't do all that, right? So obviously you need some, but ensure that you use good quality professionals. After that, you may have to help your other parent recover from the stress and dealing with the bereavement of a spouse. It's not going to be very difficult. It's not going to be very easy either, especially for people who die at 80. It won't matter. But when your cousin dies at the age of 52, handling his wife, or if the person who died is a woman, handling his grief is not going to be very easy. And you have to have your own boundaries, and you should be able to say, look, I think you need help. Here is the phone number of so and so, and maybe you should seek help. So whatever it is, right? So do all that. Inheritances are strange, even if you're a financial planner, and your own parental money may come to you at a stage when it may not make any changes in your portfolio. Let's say my mom lives another 7 years. By the time I'll be 70, so at that age, whatever I inherit may or may not matter, right? So when inheritances are happening and you know it is happening, see whether there can be partial withdrawal. So this is one more learning for me. Each person's grief is unique. So some people can really cry. Some people may be dry-eyed but still be very sad and may not be handling the grief well. So these are some of the random thoughts on retirement, old age. This is long-term care that I wanted to talk about. Thank you.